Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, and today we've got some huge changes coming to Battlefield 2042. The long-awaited Vault Weapon attachments and skins are finally on the horizon in Season 5, and just this morning DICE shared a lot of information with us on that, so we'll be going over everything here in this video, and then later on we'll be talking about pretty significant nerfs coming to both the RM68 and the G57. Both of these are well overdue, I'm sure most of you guys will agree, but I would wager that many of you out there are running both these weapons as your go-to right now, so you might have to reconsider that. Before we begin, if you do enjoy the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. We need around 300 subs for 44k guys, so let's see how fast we can get there. As always, I appreciate the support. So Alexander Formoso, the lead weapon designer on Battlefield 2042, hopped on the podcast this morning to share what's coming in Season 5 for the Vault Weapons. Right now, there are over 20 Vault Weapons in the game, and whilst everybody seems to enjoy seeing DICE build up the roster of weapons available to us, and you know, getting that little Vault Weapon drop mid-season was a nice refresher, the main feedback has been that most of them seem a little bit lackluster. Not necessarily underpowered, but harder to control when compared to the base weapons in the game. You of course don't have the larger magazines, and overall they're simply less competitive. So in Season 5, all of the Vault Weapons are going to be completely reworked to have a big range of the Battlefield 2042 attachments available. It won't be the full range, but instead a selection for each weapon based on certain aspects, like if the weapon can physically have them. So does the weapon have a rail system, or can you use an adapter, things like that. So basically for some weapons, the physical restraints of the art and design means that not every Battlefield 2042 attachment can be placed on a Vault Weapon. To make way for the new attachments though, most of the older attachments that we currently have will be removed from the game outside of a few nostalgic pieces like some of the scopes such as the ACOG and the Hollow Sight. At the end of the day, the older attachments perform worse, they are larger and more cumbersome, and there's little functionality in having two different 4x scopes, for example. So if one of them is inherently better than the other, then why would you use the worst one? So what sorts of attachments are we getting then? So as far as I understood Alex, we're getting pretty much all the muzzle attachments from the base game. For the underbarrel, there is at least one new grip coming, as well as bipods, flashlights and lasers. And then for the ammo section, arguably the most important one, what they're going to do here is begin with extended mags at first, and then if they notice that their target of making the Vault Weapons more adaptable is not being met, then they may consider other things like close combat ammo, drum mags, and things like that. So playing it cautiously at first here, and then seeing how things pan out. So these changes will be rolling out with the initial Season 5 update, that is to say, Update 5.0, but only for the assault rifles and the Gold Magnum sniper rifle to begin with. The rest will be coming in Update 5.1 and 5.2. So nice to see DICE also confirm here that there are going to be two major updates after Season 5 releases as well. I would wager that one of those includes the squad management tools. And coincidentally, that is also the reason why we didn't get any new Vault Weapons in the recently released Update 4.2. If you were stuck like me thinking, this update felt kind of empty, that's the reason. They didn't release any Vault Weapons this time in order to do the work in preparation for the Season 5 stuff. I think that makes sense. After all, why release two new weapons only to have to rework them a month later? Now, in addition to the new attachments, all the Vault Weapons will receive a full balance pass as well, and this is going to be mainly focusing on the dispersion and spread of the weapons, and they are aware that some of the 2042 base weapons, if not all of them really, need some changes in that regard as well. Indeed, I don't think the Vault Weapons are underpowered as such, they're just too hard to wield and control in comparison to the base weapons. So with that in mind, DICE are looking to adjust the versatility of the range rather than the overall power of them. So that's not the only big change here though, because all Vault Weapons will be compatible with the current roster of universal skins in the game. So that's really cool to see. I certainly hope that we're going to see DICE start to release some specific skins like they do for the other weapons in the game, but for the vault weapons. As well as that, I also really think they should add mastery skins. I'm sure a lot of you out there, those of you who do use the vault weapons, have mastered many of them, so some tier 1 skins would be really cool there as well. So Season 5 is looking like it's going to be pretty big on content actually compared to previous seasons. We'll be getting the usual new weapons, gadgets, the map and all that, but for those players who've avoided the vault weapons up until now, like I mostly have, those weapons may now be quite lucrative additions to the game finally. Now moving on here, we've got some pretty significant nerfs coming to some of the base weapons. So the G57, first of all, is going to see some changes. This one has been on DICE's radar for a long time after they saw the top percentile of players maining this sidearm, but over time that has started to trickle down to the lower skill levels to the point that DICE feel like they need to do something about it. On the other hand, the G57 is also your starter pistol in Battlefield 2042, so they don't want to nerf it into the ground either. So the changes they make will be to the burst mode only. They didn't go into details, but I would guess probably more spread, so it's less effective at range, because they did say it's something they wanted you to pull out and use in a close quarters situation, and less of a second primary weapon, which, let's face it, is pretty much how it feels now. And then the RM68 is going to see some changes too. Again, specifics here, but they said they wanted this weapon to rival the S4 originally. It went a little bit too far, it's a little bit too good. Again, my guess would be changes to its spread and its recoil, so it's not quite so insane at range. However, these changes are probably not coming for several weeks. We've already had update 4.2, so unless DICE plan on releasing a smaller hotfix patch, the next update will probably be the Season 5 update on the 6th of June, so if you've yet to master the RM68 or the G57, then I would get on that while it's still fairly easy. And finally here, as a little tease, Alex gave us a clue to one of the new weapons coming in Season 5, and the clue is that it has a number 50 in the name. It has to be some sort of 50 cal sniper rifle, surely. They said it was an iconic weapon. They said it was one of the studio's favourite weapons. We haven't seen a new bolt action sniper rifle in any of the previous 4 seasons, so in my mind, that's the only option, right? So lots of interesting stuff coming in Season 5, some fantastic changes by the sound of it. Now if you're interested in beyond Season 5 and what comes after that, go and check out this video. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.